close are we to Tony Stark's lab? A look at holograms ahead on Science Goes to the Movies. Welcome to Science Goes to the Movies, a look at the stories of science and how they change our culture. I'm Faith Saley. And as always, when Professor Vinod Menon visits Science Goes to the Movies, we are going to talk about the physics of light, specifically holograms. Hello, Vinod. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, Vinod, the most famous hologram ever is...
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
So what is a hologram?
The word hologram really means a whole image or a whole picture. And if you take a regular photographic image that you see, that's not a whole image because the information about depth is lost. What hologram creates is a true 3D rendition of the original image or the original object that you're looking at. So that's what makes a hologram really unique.
And we can only see the outside of it, right?
We can only see the outside of it because you're only capturing the reflected light of the object that you're looking at from the outside. It's the same as when I'm looking at you. I can only see what's outside of you because the light is not reflecting from inside you at this point.
Oh, well, I mean, unless we get very metaphysical
Yes.
and spiritual, I hope I'm emitting some light in your direction. The last time you came, I learned that an object becomes visible when light bounces off the surface. Movies are projected and light bounces back to us off a screen. But when we see Princess Leia projected in 3D by R2-D2, she's standing on thin air. So what is it that holographs are reflected back to us on, if you'll pardon the terrible grammar?
Sure.
Is it dust or air?
Yes. So let's start with actually how the hologram records the information, because once you understand how it is recorded, then you will understand how it is projected.
Okay.
In a regular photography, you just take the intensity of light that is reflected off from you and gets captured on a plain sheet of paper with the photo emulsion on it. And so wherever there is bright, it gets exposed. The regions that are not bright don't get exposed, and you get a regular photographic film. So that's just intensity being recorded from you. If you look at the camera, you see a 3D image, but the pattern that gets imprinted on the photograph is just a 2D image with just intensities varying with a grayscale. So we have missed one information, and that's what is called the phase information or the depth information. The phase as in P-H-A-S-E. The phase meaning the light that is reflected off from the front of your face as opposed to, say, from the side of your face. They're coming at me with different phases. And one way to think about it is imagine light as a wave. So these are two waves that are in phase. These are two waves that are out of phase. So when you have a phase difference, that is what allows you to identify that there is a certain depth difference, because light has traveled different distances from the front of your face as opposed to the side of your face. And that information is lost in your photograph. In a hologram, you record that information. You record both intensity and phase information on the same holographic picture. So the way you do it is you have a laser or light source that hits you, reflects off, you have a photoemulsive paper, and then you have a reference beam that comes in. So the reference beam hasn't touched you, and then you interfere these two beams. And when you interfere these two beams, there is the phase difference that is acquired, the different regions from which the light is getting reflected, interfering with the reference beam, and that is what is recorded. So if you actually take a hologram and look at it in a microscope, what you would see is a bunch of bright and dark regions. It doesn't have any relevance to the photograph that you're looking at. But then you take this hologram and then you shine this same laser again onto it, but this time not reflecting off you, just straight at it. What it does is it does an interference on itself, because you have got this pattern imprinted on this sheet, that it creates a 3D image of the object that it originally recorded. To record the hologram, things have to be very stable. So when you're recording it, because there is this whole phase information or the depth information coming at you, it's important that the whole stage is where you're recording it is extremely stable.
What does that mean?
It means that, like, if you have a camera, well, it's the same thing as a camera. If you shake your camera, you get a blurry image. But here the requirements are a little bit more stringent, so you can't even be doing this.
But the thing that you're recording doesn't have to be stable. Is that right?
No, that doesn't. If it's a 3D hologram, it doesn't have to be stable. But the two beams that are coming at you and interfering, and on the film has to be stable.
Who figured out how to do this and when?
So this was Dennis Gaber, I want to say in the 60s.
Okay.
And then he won the Nobel Prize in 71 for the discovery of hologram. Really what allowed this discovery to happen was the invention of the laser. Once the laser was invented, you had a coherent source and you could record holograms very efficiently. And this is what resulted in the hologram being created.
Is there a difference between the words hologram and holograph?
Holography is the technique by which you're creating a hologram.
Got
and
it.
hologram is the photography versus photograph.
Got it. Okay.
So
last time you were here with us, Vinod, we talked a lot about Star Trek. And Star Trek has always used a lot of holograms. And in Star Trek Beyond, several action scenes and plot points twist on hologrammatic images. And I want to zero in on a specific scene in the movie. About 40 minutes into the movie, the character Jaylah unleashes a defense against the bad guys in the form of light-based clones. We see light-based clones in many fantasies. In Masashi Kishimoto's hugely popular manga series, the lead character Uzumaki Naruto creates shadow clones. And the only explanation is it's magic. In this version of Star Trek, when Jaylah uses holographic clones, the movie utilizes a mechanism that mimics actual current 3D holographic technology. Okay, Vinod, so in Star Trek, Jaylah uses 4 small towers that emit light to create holograms. In real life, is that how you emit a hologram? Yes,
because what you would want to do is to record your hologram in real time. Now, there is a big distinction between what Jaylah is doing and the hologram that's being produced and the hologram that you see on your license, the driver's license. The driver's license is a recorded hologram. It cannot be changed. But what you're talking about in the movie is a dynamic hologram, something that's changing at every instant in time. And the requirement for that is you need a medium where you're recording this hologram to be able to refresh itself at the refresh rate at which your eye can perceive, so that you can actually see it as being moving around. And that's where the real bottleneck in holographic display has been. To come up with a photoresponsive medium that can refresh at fast enough rate so that you can create a dynamic hologram. There is several research going on. There are photorefractive molecules that do this, but it's still at its infancy. So anytime you hear that somebody is using a holographic technology to project something, it might not be the true hologram in the real sense of the word. It might be a way to create something that looks like a hologram.
So when we see Tupac Shakur at a concert, or we see a hologram of Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk, it feels like it's happening in real time. It feels like the ghost of somebody's really there. But are you saying that that is something that has been recorded and couldn't be changed in real time? If someone were like, ooh, I want the hologram of Michael Jackson to spin right now, do it.
No, so the first distinction there is that's not a hologram.
It's not?
It's not a hologram. And the way it's actually a technique that was discovered in 1800s by somebody who was trying to create magic and wanted to create ghosts on a stage. His last name is Pepper. I'm forgetting his first name. And he had these glass sheets.
Did you say his last name was Pepper?
Yes.
Let's just call him Dr.
Yes.
Pepper.
And he had this glass sheet in front of the stage, and he had the character or the ghost character underneath, and he would reflect the light off this person. And because it was a glass sheet, the audience would think that they're still looking at the person at the stage.
Oh.
And all you're doing is projecting that reflection of the person onto this glass sheet, and you can see it. So the audience thinks that there's somebody or a ghost on there. And that's the same technique that's been utilized in all these live performances. And in fact, now you can actually do something in your house. You can do it on your phone. You can cut out a transparency, the old school transparency sheets for overhead projectors.
Yeah.
Or any plastic, clear plastic. You can cut it up into some kind of a trapezoidal shape, 4 of them, and put it on your iPhone. And you have an image, or of any phone, and that projects an image, and then you can create a hologram. But that's not a hologram. It's only doing this exactly what I just told you, which is...
It's just reflecting photography? It's reflecting video?
It's reflecting video, and that makes it appear like a hologram.
Okay.
So you're not really capturing in the sense of the word hologram, you're not capturing both intensity and phase information on a sheet and then projecting it out or anything like that.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for dispelling that myth and
That's okay.
deflating me. I still think it's magic.
Oh, it is. It's as close. In fact, you can do it. It's a nice project for your kid.
Yeah. When would it be possible to have something like we see in Star Wars? That if I wanted to, I'm away on another continent, but want to give you a message and really want to feel like I'm there, and you're the only one who can help me, Vinod.
I'm glad you think I'm.
Are we going to be able to do that, to send ourselves in real time?
I think it's not very far away. It's
Really?
more of a materials problem at this point, and I think once the materials challenges are overcome, a real-time 3D holography is not far away because the technique is there. We have the display system should be able to carry information. The biggest problem is the amount of data that is going to be there that needs to be refreshed at a constant rate to capture this 3D.
Oh my gosh,
movement.
the global roaming plan to do holograms when you're traveling is going to be like
exactly,
insane.
and then you want both the visual movement as well as the sound to be sent in. So the sound is already there. I mean, we have Skype and things like that. So it's only a question of being able to refresh this photorefractive material fast enough that you can get a 3D image.
When you talk about it as a problem or bottleneck of materials, can you sort of define materials for a layperson?
Yes, so it's so one of the most common ways, some kind of a polymer or a plastic material that responds to the light. So it's like a photoemulsion. So it responds to light, and then you record this interference pattern on that, and then you see that in your. That's the pattern that you see in the cover of National Geographic or whatever it is. But then you want to do it in 3D. You want to be able to refresh this thing really fast. Mm-hmm. So you record it. So as you record it, there is another beam that is hitting on it and projecting this 3D image. But as that is happening, you need to be recording the next set of image because you're constantly moving, and that's where the bottleneck is.
All right, let's talk waves.
Yes.
You're jamming us.
In Star Trek Beyond, the penultimate defense against the Krall's drone swarm is radio waves.
What is this?
Specifically, the VHF transmission of the Beastie Boys' 1994 hit Sabotage. And I know you specialize in light, but what is the difference between a light wave and a sound wave?
So the biggest difference between light wave and sound waves is they come under two different classes of waves. They're both waves. Sound waves undergo, the way sound waves are transmitted is when you talk, there is the oscillation of your tongue and there is air pressure getting modified in front of you. And this air pressure keeps moving across and it comes to my eardrum, and my eardrum then starts oscillating, and that's how the sound gets created. So it's actually the molecules in the air undergoing compression and spreading and compression and spreading, and as it comes towards from the source to the observer. In the context of light, that's not the case. In the context of light, it is a wave where the electric and the magnetic fields are oscillating perpendicular or in this direction, and the light is propagating in this direction. So it's different form of how energies or how information is transmitted. In the case of sound, the waves are traveling in the direction of the wave that is in the direction of propagation. So that's why they're called transverse waves, and the other one's called longitudinal waves. That's just scientific jargon. But the other way to think about sound waves is imagine traffic jams. That's another example of something that's similar to a sound wave, where you're going through these compressed regions, then spread out, compress, spread out. And because they rely on these pressure differences, you need a medium. And that's why you cannot hear somebody scream in the space, outer space.
Because there's nothing there.
Nothing there.
But are both light and sound waves on the electromagnetic spectrum?
The light waves are on the electromagnetic spectrum because you need electric and magnetic fields. Sound waves are not on the electromagnetic spectrum.
Okay. So light doesn't need a medium?
Light does not need a medium. At least as of today's research, light does not need a medium.
What does that mean?
Because there was been a lot of interest in trying to see if, because we understood sound before we understood light, and so there was always this notion that you need a medium in which light has to travel. And there have been several experiments as of today trying to see if there is really a medium, and they used to call it the ether.
Yeah.
But as of today, there's no experiment that proves that there's ether, and it doesn't need a medium to travel. So light can travel in empty vacuum.
Okay, now I have a ton of questions about Tony Stark. In the Marvel universe, when Tony wants to take apart an engine, he doesn't need to get his hands greasy because Tony Stark has highly detailed holograms of all his amazing machines and all their individual working parts. So, Vinod, let me start by asking you this. Does Tony Stark have the most amazing, coolest man cave ever?
Absolutely. I would love to have one of those.
Oh my gosh. I mean, is it arguable that your lab is kind of a man cave? It's a person cave, let's not be sexist.
Yes.
But I mean, you have a lot of cool stuff to tinker with, right?
It is, definitely. But to have that personal space right under your house to
Yeah.
be able to do that is, I think, something that I would love to have.
When we're seeing Tony Stark manipulate a three-dimensional piece of light,
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Welcome home, sir. Congratulations on
So what he is manipulating is a hologram. He's trying to move the hologram around such that he actually makes real changes in the real object that he's playing around with. Just to give an example, if he's tightening a nut on a gadget in the hologram,
Yeah.
then the nut needs to get tightened on the real object.
yeah.
Now, so information needs to go back from the hologram to the nut. So to do that, there has to be some way of sending the information back. It's not inconceivable. Suppose there were antennas that recognized his hand gesture, and then send back the information to a robot that is sitting next to the gadget and which did the turning of the knob. I mean, so it's doable. So it's not unphysical. Let me put it that way. It's just not being done.
But there's tech out there that comes pretty close to Tony Stark's lab, right?
Absolutely, the HoloLens. So the HoloLens is different from Tony Stark's version in the sense that Tony Stark is not wearing a headgear, and what he's looking at is a true hologram. What HoloLens does is not a true hologram. What it's doing is it's a projection mechanism which makes it look like a hologram. So it's an augmented reality system which gives you the perception of depth. You can see things around you, but at the same time you can go around and do things to it. Or rather, you can pick things out of there and move it and so on. And I actually had the opportunity to try out one of these HoloLenses, and it was a fantastic experience.
What was it like? What were you actually doing?
Out at NYU's medical school, and we were playing around with their HoloLens, and we were just looking at an anatomy of a human body, and we were able to go around and look at the different parts of the human body, and identify what they are and so on. So it's a very good.
But when you were looking at a human body, it was a virtual human body?
It's a virtual human body, yes.
That's so cool.
It's a virtual
so this
human
would
body.
be presumably this would be a tool to help people like studying surgery where they have to use cadavers?
Absolutely. That's in fact one of the reasons why a medical school is interested in something like this, to do the first round of training on cadavers without actually having cadavers.
Do you
and do
know
it on a
there's
hologram.
so many maybe disturbing applications for this, but I'm thinking like you could just do, speed dating. You could just do speed dating with holograms and then decide if you really like the hologram, then you'll invest in the person, right? Otherwise, you're just sort of dismissing a virtual person.
It is possible. I mean, I think to me, it appeared like a great productivity tool in places like an architect school, or if you're, the three of us are sitting and wanting to discuss, say, a new car that, you are interested in and somebody else is interested in, and you can look at the two cars, or things like that, where you want to decide and you want to be able to look at it more physically.
Or what about in the military, if you were learning how to like disassemble a bomb?
Absolutely. Those things like that are where it can be used for. But I want to make the distinction that
between a HoloLens and a hologram
is different from a hologram, because there is no hologram there. What it's doing is really a projection mechanism to create this 3D image. So it's not recording a hologram like the way I was telling you, where you have the reference beam and the original beam interfering and things like that. It's not doing that. It's actually creating, so you're wearing this headgear, and the headgear is making projections in front of you, and you see this image in front of you. And
you see
so
it, but you
if you're
can't
not
manipulate it?
You can manipulate it, yes, because it's still so the HoloLens knows this surrounding space. It knows your hand location. So when you touch the hologram, it knows where you've touched because it's got sensors that's looking at it. So it's got infrared lasers that know where you are with respect to the room, and you can move things with respect to that. So you can do a lot of things that you kind of see in science fiction.
You can manipulate the image, but
Yes.
you can't manipulate anything in real life.
Well, at least in the HoloLens, you cannot manipulate anything in real life. If it's a 3D,
It ain't Tony Stark.
Yes, and
Yeah.
if it's a true 3D holographic display system, we wouldn't need headgear.
Ah,
That's the crucial aspect, because
you wouldn't need the lens through which to see it.
you would just have a projection mechanism that would just like exactly how R2D2 would project it, and you would create
Yeah.
this. You would just need a projection system that would just put it out here in front of you.
Do you think that movies set the science bar too high, or is it good for science to?
I think it's absolutely good for science, because it's always a synergistic development that happens between science fiction and science. It's a feedback loop. There's constant, the science fiction shows something, then we want to go ahead and do something.
Yeah.
And then the other, or the other way around. Science does something, and then the movies want to emulate that, maybe at a different scale.
I mean, I think I remember the last time you were here, you talked a bit about how science fiction television shows in particular, and some movies, inspired you completely as a boy to pursue the career you're in.
And just to give an example, Big Bang Theory, which is
so popular.
It's so popular, has had an influence on people wanting to do physics.
Is that right? Do you have students who have?
Well, I have students who are great fans of Big Bang and Big Bang Theory, and they are interested in physics. I don't have data on that, but there is some evidence that it's actually helped.
I'm seeing holograms in fine art and in movies and in people's workspaces. Why do you think holograms are suddenly so popular?
I think the reason is it's a true 3D object as opposed to 2D object, or even when you talk about virtual reality gadgets that people, which is available now. The biggest problem with virtual reality is you're in a totally different world and you're completely separated from the reality. Whereas with the hologram, you can be in the real world and still look at objects. You can discuss the object with your friend and understand what's going on around it. You can go around it, because if it's a true 3D hologram, then you have information about it all around it.
You talk about we need to sort of wait on materials, but
Yes.
once the right materials come along, I mean, are you thinking within a decade we'll be able to summon a hologram?
I would think it will be less than that.
Really?
Because I've already seen from research labs evidence of materials that actually can do it pretty fast, and at very basic images, like they had a moving image of a few numbers that were moving, and they could see, or some object that moved very slowly, and they had this image that you could see it moving. So there are already materials out there that have been that have been experimentally demonstrated. So the question is, how can we actually scale it up? How can we remove the bugs? It's more of a technological challenge than a scientific challenge at this point, I would say.
And does any of that fall into what you study, or?
I don't do holograph.
You're not
I don't
technology.
do holography or make holograms. But one of the things I work with, which is where I try to create structures which trap light. The way I make it is by creating something like an hologram. So I have two beams that interfere, and this interference pattern that it creates is what allows me to create this structure that traps light. So I'm not exactly using a hologram, but it's the technique that is used to create a hologram is the same thing that we do in the lab.
I read something very recently that seemed like it was newsworthy, that they found that neutron beams
Yes.
can be used to create holograms, and what's unique about that is it talked about being able to see hidden interior. What does that mean?
So neutron beams have wavelength which is much smaller than the wavelength of visible light, and neutrons are particles. Now this is an example where you talk about a particle being a wave, right? So both particle wave duality that quantum mechanics teaches us about. So it's the same idea that neutrons are particles and they are waves, and if you do not look for the particle property of it, and if you interfere neutrons as waves, then you get interference. Exactly like the way the two photons came together and created an interference pattern. But because the neutrons have a wavelength that is much smaller than the wavelength of visible light, you can actually create interference patterns that are much more finely spaced, and which also means that anything that has got a smaller wavelength means you can also resolve objects that are much smaller. So if you have smaller things that you want to see, then you could use a neutron beam to see that thing.
What does it mean, though, to be able to use a hologram to see a hidden interior?
Well, I guess what you're getting at is, can I record something? Suppose I use the neutron beam, and the neutron beam doesn't reflect off my surface of my skin, but actually reflects off things inside me, and then comes back. Then that information that hologram is actually recording my images of my bone or my cell or my cells inside.
And that's what neutron beam holograms are going to have?
Well, possibly, yes. I mean, if it can go inside, if it can penetrate inside your body, and the hologram only cares about where is the light reflecting off or wherever it's. So if it's inside, then it reflects off the inside, and then it just creates it.
Vinod, that's about all we have time for. You are always illuminating.
Oh, thank you very much.
And thank you again for being here on your birthday.
Thank you very much, Faith.
Oh, my pleasure. I hope you're going to play like with the coolest lightsabers ever tonight with your kids. Although I think you told us lightsabers can't really happen last time.
At least now, as of now, today.
Okay. You can find out more on this and other subjects on our Science Goes to the Movies Facebook page. And if you want to watch past episodes, including one with this guy, Vinod, check us out at www.cuny.tv under the Science tab.